this sort of lends us to concussion protocols. So there have been quite a few injuries in WWE recently. Normally we say that about AEW, but this time WWE has had a spate, including JD McDonough, of course. I think Apollo... what the hell's his name? I've already lost his name. Is it Apollo Crews?
Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I think he's injured, all within a week. But then also there was Dakota Kai, who ended up getting a very hard kick to the face, a springboard drop kick to the face, courtesy of Zoey Stark in the week before, I think, on Raw. We didn't cover it. It was the same episode as Rey Mysterio and the Kofi Kingston powerbomb botch. Now, I don't know if you've got this ready to watch. It's not really worth doing what went wrong because we know what went wrong. She got a knee to the face. But there's 3 different angles there if you want to just play, and then I'll get more into concussions.
Yeah, before we go to the footage, I want to say I understand exactly how Dakota Kai has been feeling. And obviously she's aired her frustration, her maybe, anxiety about not being used to her fullest potential. And she had that finals match against Chelsea Green for the new Intercontinental, or was that the U.S. title?
I think it's the Intercontinental.
Okay. So it is incredibly disappointing, and we get into very dangerous territory. And I know, and I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking right to Dakota Kai and everybody in that. And this probably includes JD McDonough. You get to a point where you're like, if I can take this drop kick to the face even harder, if I can moonsault and just lane caution to the wind, if I can bump even harder, if I can take bigger bumps, if I can do this, that, or the other thing, maybe finally they'll notice me. Maybe finally I'll stay in a spot that I know that I can deliver in. That's the beginning of the end. That's the most dangerous thought process that I am as guilty, if not more guilty, than anybody. And that's why we talk about these things, because I don't want anybody waking up and with back spasms or your back hits the wall. You need surgery in your 30s instead of your 60s. That's what I'm hoping for with these types of topics and these segments and this show in general. So with that being said, we'll go to this, and concussions are a whole nother story of the absolute unknown. I would love to sit every wrestler down and maybe we can do a watch along and watch League of Denial about the NFL, CTE, concussions, and if it's a scared straight. It made me think about it differently. That was after the fact. I'm still an idiot, but I tried to be a smarter idiot after that. So,
hey, you smart ass.
Hey, what are you, a smart idiot? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. My wife got mad. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. She was like, there was only one last week. What are you doing? So, in all seriousness, let's play this, and hopefully this girl can recover from the unknown concussions. Absolutely unknown. That was it right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where 2 things went wrong. Number 1 thing that went wrong, the spot was cool. Here we go. This is all people care about. The spot was cool. I liked the spot. It was innovative. In theory, it's like, this is how it started. Yeah, you know what would be cool? That's Kiss of Death. As a matter of fact, the thing I did with Maven, we did a parody of that at the end of the thing. He goes, oh, by the way, Steve, you know what would be cool? And I got up and walked away. That was the end of the video. But with this, I know what they were trying to do, the effort of the spot, and out of nowhere. You know what this is? This is akin or a tribute, if they even know it, to the Midnight Express or Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton. There was a famous spot that they did where there was a blind tag in the corner. The guy got whipped into the corner. And then when he came out, he hit the guy who made the tag. And then Arn was ducked down and hit a clothesline out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He was focusing on the guy that Tug out, the babyface did, and Arn snuck in and basically clotheslined him out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Because the person was shining still on the person to Tug out. That's what this is. But obviously, man, the timing's got to be there. So I'm going to back it up and go slow mo. I love the duck the clothesline, drop down. And by the way, Shayna Baszler, you got to give her credit. What's a drop down? Al Snow 101. 101. A drop down is not just dropping down for the sake of it. A drop down is trying to cut the legs out of your opponent. And that's exactly what she did. Now, the next thing is she cut the legs out of Dakota Kai for real with the drop kick. So here it is. I have to say though, I'm going to zoom in. There's not much Zoey Stark could do. She did not kick her in the head or the face. The back of Dakota Kai's head hit the mat. That's what I'm seeing, right? Because look,
she's probably got a bit of whiplash as well. We've got two more in this little video clip. There are two more angles that we can see as well. The middle one, they sort of slow it down and then speed it up. Yeah,
there's the thumbnail. What I'm saying is that this, if she wasn't running into it, say Zoey Stark does the springboard or she gets on the top rope and drop kicks if you're standing still, that could still cause whiplash. But Dakota Kai is running every bit as fast as Braun Breaker into this drop kick. And that's the part that makes it more impactful. So here it is again. Boom. There's the point of contact.
She's taken off her feet from that as well.
Of course. Yeah, she's not even jumping. Now, what I do, this is what I do. When someone's drop kicking me off the top or body pressing me or doing anything, I jump up. The reason why I jump up, number one, on a cross body, I can pull them in. We both take the bump. On a drop kick, what happens when you jump in the air? What happens, James, as you're writing down?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say that again. I was writing a note down.
When I jump, say, I'm going to just give you a guess. Someone's going to drop kick me from the top rope. And this is Rob Van Dam, too, with some of his spin kicks and other things. I jump into it. What does that do? Not into it like I'm jumping forward. I jump more up and in a little bit as I'm running.
Well, it aids rotation, I guess.
It also takes my head out of the equation. I won't get drop kicked in the face. I have this now. Now, you might drop kick me in the sternum, and that's going to suck, but not as bad as getting knocked out. Her feet are still on the mat. So you're right. She's getting literally drop kicked onto the back of her head. So we'll go slow-mo. There's the whiplash. Boom. And we have another angle here. Slow-mo. I love the drop down. She did not kick her in the head or the face, dude. This is all momentum running, momentum kicking somebody very, very hard, but in a safe place. She only kicked her under here. Now she could have broke her collarbone or popped her shoulder out, but Zoey Stark, the thing that went wrong was the spot, in theory, is great. But Dakota Kai knocked herself out with the bump. It was not Zoey Stark. Now, she obviously drop kicked her, but she bumped like this too. Like bumping anyway and hitting the back of your head's whatever. I would say this is a guess. Dakota Kai bumped. The bump was so hard and Zoey Stark bumped at the same time that guess what the ring did to Dakota Kai? Bit her in the back of the head.
Okay, but I mean, that's a theory, but also you could say that she got drop kicked so hard that she didn't take a bump, she was legitimately knocked down, so therefore she couldn't land how she would normally do if she was in control of her own bump.
Yeah, but she's also running, so she's not in control of her own bump anyway. If you're standing still, you're in control of your bump. She's running. I gotta give the spot credit, though. This is an incredibly difficult, complex, multi-layered spot that has duck to clothesline. Shayna Baszler needs to drop down, and maybe that's why she dropped down the way you should, to get out of the way of the bump. But she should do that every time. Dakota Kai has to now go over the drop down, still run as fast as you can. Zoey Stark needs to meet her in the middle and springboard exactly at the point. And let's say this, dude, Dakota Kai, what if she was closer? She would have got kicked in the face. That this is almost what went right. Trust me, this is I'm gonna go back to me on full screen. This here can be what went right and what went wrong. The spot is executed to perfection. The spot is awesome. The spot is done well. Zoey Stark works like a dude. So the drop kick looks good. It's not a tap drop kick. Dakota Kai is running into it after going over a drop down, which leads to I didn't see it coming. It was a blind drop kick. I think everything was done perfectly. And guess who's responsible for it right here? The very logo heavy WWE apron and ring. The ring did it. The ring is what went wrong. So I don't think the spot was bad. I don't think anybody hurt anybody. I think the ring bit her in the head and knocked her out. Now, the drop kick was hard. Zoey Stark works like a dude. I said it before. Zoey Stark could legitimately look like she could beat some of the men. She could very easily do a Tessa Blanchard gimmick. She's not somebody I would mess with. I mean, all three of them are shooters, but I'm just saying she's somebody that legitimately looks like she can hang with the guys. So I think this was just an unfortunate side effect of a very well done spot.